Hey everybody, Gary with Basecamp Trading. Let's take a look at the ES today. Still lots of volatility in the market, and we love it. This price movement gives us lots of opportunities. We don't care which way the market moves, and we don't even care why it's moving, as long as it's moving. The sideways movement is what hurts us as day traders, but as long as the market's moving, that allows us to take advantage of the movement, and that's how we get our trades off. And you can see the ES came into the US session. Actually, had been pushing up overnight. Came into the US session, and then we actually triggered a reversal doji. We set up this reversal doji right here, and then we triggered it to the downside. A little push into the 13 EMA. These 5, 13, 21, and 50, 200. All these moving averages are significant support and resistance on these 30-minute charts. You can see this bar opened, pushed under the 13, closed back above it, set up the continuation doji. And this doji was in front of the market open. So we got some consolidation here just before the market opened. And then this bar was the market open. We opened right here, or the US day session open. We opened right here, a little topping tail, and then the entire body of this bar was all selling. Nice bearish push to the downside. Poked under the 50 EMA. We know that doesn't last long. End up closing back above it. Next bar opened, poked underneath the 50 EMA again, and then closed way back up here. Actually, pretty bullish bar. Left the bottoming tail. The whole body was all buying. And then we had another doji. This bar opened right here, and you can see kind of struggled with the moving averages, kind of ping-pong between 5, 13, 21, and the 50. Then this ended up, and could have been a reversal doji. If this next bar had triggered it to the downside, we may have continued to move lower. Instead, it ended up being a continuation doji back to the upside with a strong trigger bar. Bottoming tail, and the entire body of this bar was all buying, closed well above our moving averages. Next bar opened up, little bottoming tail, another pretty bullish bar. This whole bar was all buying. The body was all buying, closed right near the top. Then we got this consolidation doji right here. And again, could have been a reversal doji. The next bar had triggered it down. As it turns out, the next bar was just an inside bar, but slightly bearish. It left another topping tail. You can see topping tail, topping tail, topping tail, showing a reluctance for this market to go much higher. Then we did set up another reversal doji right here, and ultimately triggered it to the downside. You see, left a topping tail. The whole body of that bar was all selling, and then opened right here, pushed back up, pulled down, and then another really bearish close. The whole body of this bar was all selling, got closed underneath our moving averages, because you can see the moving averages supplied support and resistance here. Next bar opens right here, rejects at the moving averages, and then pulls all the way down here. We got some nice bearish trades in the afternoon. We'll show those on the Renko chart in a minute. But of course, couldn't stay below the 50. Left another bottoming tail. And we did hit significantly undervalued, so not surprised that we got a pullback there. Hit significantly undervalued. Back above the 50 EMA. This next bar opens up, pushes up into the EMAs again, rejects. Another pretty bearish bar back to the downside again. Topping tail, the whole body of this bar was all selling. Closed under the 50 EMA. So, okay, we're thinking, okay, now maybe we're going to make yet another leg lower. But no, instead, we open right here, back above the 50 EMA and back above all the moving averages. Closed above the moving averages. And then this was our final bar of the day going into closing. But it was a bullish bar. Opened at the bottom, closed right at the top. And that was the last bar of the trading session. But you can see, this 30-minute chart. And this is pretty decent movement. I mean, the top of that bar right there, the high of that bar was 35.76.75. The low of that bar was 35.51. So that's 25 points in the ES, or roughly $1,250 potential per contract. Now, nobody's catching that whole swing. I mean, you're not getting short right at the top and taking profits right at the bottom. We know that's not happening. But with $1,200 worth of movement, we know we're going to get a big part of that. And then it led to some opportunities to go back the other way. So, again, just lots of opportunities to go short, get long, go short, get long. Plenty of volatility, and like I said, we love it. Movement is what we thrive on as day traders. And most of these trades we take off of our Renko charts, or at least in the afternoon. Now the morning session, Thomas trades Renko and time charts. I primarily trade the Renko charts, and I primarily trade the Renko charts, and this is kind of what this looked like on the Renko charts. This was this morning when we came in. This is where we had the reversal doji, which was a trend reversal breakout on the Renko chart. You can see we had a pivot high, and then a pivot, a lower high, broke to a lower low. So we had some opportunities there. Could have grabbed a couple $100. You had a down, up, down right here, which would have been good for another couple $100. And then this is where we went into consolidation leading into the open. And we kind of chopped around. And then we ended up triggering that continuation doji to the downside. Another down, up, down pattern out of the cloud. And potential to grab, a few $100 on that move. I think there was actually 450 in it. But again, nobody's catching tops and bottoms. But opportunity to grab anywhere between $300 and $400 per contract there. Then we went into the chop again, consolidated, power lines everywhere. We actually had a little breakout of compression to the upside and didn't go too far, but would have been good for another at least $100, depending on how you were trading that. You would at least get first target, maybe second. Again, it depends on how you're trading it. And then we kind of trended in a real choppy way back to the downside again. I mean, technically we had a trend reversal breakout again, had a higher high, pivot, lower high. We actually broke to a lower low, then a lower high, and then you had another lower low, followed by another lower high and another lower low. No real good setups in this. This is moving averages are all wrong. We're all on the wrong side of the cloud. Nothing here really to trade. No decent setups in this. But it did go into a period of consolidation. It was kind of a choppy move down, but we did have a pivot, and then we made a couple pivots inside that. Broke out of that consolidation on a wick out of the cloud. Could have grabbed another $300-400 per contract. Again, it's all in how you're trading this. Trender Pro 2.0 signal. You might have got stopped out on that with the 5-bar rule. You might have actually taken a small loss on that, depending on how you traded that. But good chance if you actually took this as a trade, 5-bar rule would have stopped you out. You would have lost 4 or 5 ticks on that particular trade. Then we had another Trender Pro 2.0 signal. You would hit at least first target on that, so you would have grabbed $100. And then now we're going into the lunch session, and you can see we just kind of chopped through the lunch session. Set up another trend reversal breakout. Again, higher high, pivot, lower high, broke to a lower low. Now, none of this is a trade setup because I don't take these into the cloud and into the Smooth 50. I don't take these trend reversal breakouts into the cloud or into the Smooth 50. But it reversed our trend. We broke through the cloud, put in a lower low, came back up, put in yet another lower high. Our moving averages were getting in alignment. We broke to the downside, and then we got the pullback into the moving averages. And then we had a nice wick off the 34. We had pretty well-defined support right in here, so we were anticipating this breaking. Our 30-minute chart was starting to turn more bearish. So nice push there. Should have been able to grab a couple targets out of that. This 2.0 off the 18, you don't take that. Our slow line is still below the 25s and heading up. So no momentum reset there. Kind of price moved up and down. And these are Renko bars. This price movement here was over about a roughly 10 to 15 minute period of time while these bars were moving up and down. And that gave us time to get a momentum reset. Slow line back into the 25s. Wick off the 18. Good for another 2 targets. pullback, another wick off the 18, good for another 3 or 4 targets. And then we pulled back. We actually had a trend reversal breakout back to the upside. Again, don't take these into the cloud of the smooth 50. Didn't really follow through. We actually broke to a lower low here, had a lower high, poked out of the cloud. The pullback into the moving averages didn't give us any kind of a setup. You could see we ended up having a power line in here and broke to the upside. And this was at resistance break to the upside right at the end of the day. Went into some compression. Not really trading this. I'm not interested in usually trading that last 10 minutes of the day. That can get pretty crazy sometimes. But definitely numerous opportunities to take advantage of the volatility. Because like I said, lots of volatility, and we love it.